Welcome to the State of the Nation weekly update. And I would like to remind you that this is proudly brought to us by Pace Car Rental, who sponsor this program. Use the Pace Car Rental website to book your rental car and get a discount. Now, before we kick off with our Halloween special, I must mention that in my previous weekly update, I made mention of the fact that SARS had chosen not to investigate President Ramaphosa and the Phala affair because they had said that the transaction was not perfected. I have been corrected on this. They nowhere did SARS say that that was the reason that they didn't need to take that matter any further. In none of their press statements, in none of their documentation. So I have to start off by apologizing, retracting what I said, maybe got a little bit too enthusiastic, and I misrepresented SARS' position on Phala. So I apologize for that. And without any further ado, let's move on to the State of the Nation Halloween edition. Welcome to the State of the Nation weekly update, the Halloween edition. As lightning forks above the Union building and mist rises from Constitution Hill, the great mansion of South African politics awakens once again. Its windows glow with the eerie light of committees long adjourned, and its corridors echo with the laughter of the unaccountable. Enter if you dare, for inside lurks the politicians and judges who refuse to die, retire, or repent, the ghosts of governance itself. Who's inside this house? Let's start off with Cyril Ramaphosa, the Invisible Man. Forever seized with the matter, yet never actually seizing any matter, he appears briefly to promise renewal before dissolving into the mist. Seldom seen at home, he is now the leader at large of the global south. If you listen carefully, you can still hear his voice echoing. A process is underway, but the process never ends or starts. Paul Mashatile, the dark prince of Mahlamba and Ndlopfu, eternal, elegant and patient. He doesn't fight for power, he drains it. One polite dinner at a time. His business acumen is steeped in legend as he turns a civil servant's salary into 70 million rands worth of houses. The ANC's ultimate survivor, he moves through the night with silent confidence, knowing that sooner or later, all the thrones will be vacated, and this is when the Dark Prince will strike. How about Fikile Mbalula, the zombie of Luthuli house? He has been politically buried a dozen times, yet he keeps rising, tweeting, ranting, dancing, and mispronouncing his ministries. He knows that lack of success in any position or any identifiable talent will not stop his ascent to the throne. Powered by pure self-belief and bad Wi-Fi, he is the undead mascot of the ANC, unskillable, unaccountable, and unfollowable. In the opposition corner, we have Helen Zille, the Twitter witch, armed with a smartphone and a spell book of policy. She stirs controversy like a potion. Her tweets fly faster than her broomstick, summoning storms with every just asking a question, she's been cancelled, resurrected and rebooted more times than the Constitution itself. Her spells could bring Johannesburg back from the dead if the voters say the magic words in the voting booth, abracadabra. John Steenhuisen, the ghost of opposition past, haunting the halls of Parliament, clutching PowerPoint slides and coalition dreams. He speaks in slogans that echo through empty chambers. His curse to always be right, but never quite relevant. His dance moves have become legend, but he remains the president's white minister. Gayton McKenzie, the political exorcist, with the Bible in one hand and a bulldozer in the other, he bursts into towns, shouting, "Out corruption, out!" He doesn't fix systems, he scares them straight. Whether prophet or showman, one thing is certain. Gayton McKenzie will cast something out, even if it's just the foreigners. Julius Malema, the revolutionary demon, forged in fire and fury, he feeds on chaos and soundbites. His red beret horns glow as he bellows for revolution and ratings. Not fond of sharing power, he has cast out anyone who would dare look him directly in the eye. He thrives on anger and airtime, disappearing only to re-emerge at the next protest with fresh demands, a flawless sound system and a working AK-47. How about Jacob Zuma, the undead king? He has been declared finished so many times that politically dead now means campaigning next week. No jail can hold him. No scandal can end him. His theme song rises with the mist, and even the vampires of Mahlamba Ndlopfu lower their heads when he starts to sing Mshiniwam, Mshiniwam. John Hlophe, judge of the damned, once the judiciary's golden boy, now its ghostly whisper. His chambers were thick with a fog of unfinished business and whispered conspiracies. Every judgment he rendered seemed to come with an echo, appeal pending. He has turned his judicial talents to politics, and now Atlas has shrugged. The werewolf of the Western Cape, Corne Mulder, polite by daylight, feral by full moon. When the night falls over Aranya, he howls for independence and self-rule. A man of principle, yes, but never one to miss a lunar cycle of self-determination. Thabo Mbeki, our philosopher king, ageless, erudite, and endlessly disappointed. He glides through the night, quoting Yeats and Achebe, diagnosing Africa's ailments with the tone of a disappointed father. He cannot die, he can only withdraw, reflect, and re-emerge for another essay. Whisper African Renaissance 3 times, and he'll appear beside you to correct your pronunciation. Judge Mboyaseni and Madlanga, the angel of judgment, a rare being of light in this house of shadows, calm, wise, and incorruptible. He wields the pen like a divine weapon. His rulings illuminate what others obscure. When he speaks, even the demons listen, if only to remember what justice once felt like. Hangwani Mahlamba, the nephew who may not be mentioned, a mischievous, shadowy figure who haunts both Cyril and the judiciary, sometimes advising, sometimes scheming, often disappearing just when accountability is required. He thrives in family ties. He drives many blue Lamborghinis, whispers in corridors and the grey areas between influence and nepotism. If you see him, beware. He might already know your secrets. The cat, Mahlamba, the phantom of patronage, silent, cunning, every politician's friend, moving unseen along the corridors of influence. Deals, whispers and opportunities trail in his wake. Transformation in action. He wins tenders from the very police that once arrested him, and nobody notices until it's too late. Katiso Molefe, the trickster of treasury, a magician of money, mayhem and meaning. He can make billions from hospitals, but only at 500,000 rand a time, as long as the whistleblowers are silenced. Always elusive, he can convince judges that he deserves bail because his art is subtle, illusion disguised as legitimacy. He is a friend of the minister, and even the hawks fear his arrest. Senzo Mkhunu, the fire starter of KwaZulu-Natal. Everywhere he goes, political flames flare. Once the favoured prince of the president, now banished from the kingdom, doomed to see out his days, perfecting the ultimate chess move called the Stalingrad defense. Fikile, the enforcer. Policing haunted corridors with booming voices and iron fist. He moves like a storm, sometimes terrifying, sometimes comical, always noticed. But keep this under your hat. He likes free stuff, even if good people have paid for his free stuff with their very lives. Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, the Caped Crusader. Hovering over operational chaos, our hero appears at a critical moment. His timely announcements shook the haunted house, not because they were false, but because they were true. Can good triumph over evil? Will we see our camouflaged hero ever triumph over the forces of darkness dressed in black, green and gold? We'll have to wait and see. General Fani Masemola, the battle-hardened phantom. This spectral commander who walks corridors with limited authority, never to be accused of standing his ground. He has never met a minister that he hasn't cowed before. He has seen too much, remembers everything, and expects obedience, even if it means that he will be remembered for allowing crime to spiral out of control while he was in charge. Shadrach Sabia, our shadow operative, a friend of the fiends. This man will not be stopped in his quest of being the ultimate facilitator. His four cell phones are testimony to his popularity and efficiency. Operating at the margins, deals, decisions, and disappearances trail in his wake. Master of the haunted backrooms. The candles flicker, the music fades. You stand before the last mirror, the mirror of the people. Cracked, yet honest. Behind you are the monsters, invisible men, vampires, witches, demons, judges of endless time. But when you look closer, the reflection changes, because the true horror of South African politics isn't who haunts the system, it's who we keep summoning back.